Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the RAMBAM, Hilchos Talmud Torah, Perek Aleph. Today is Halacha Gimel, the third Halacha. V'chayiv liskor melamed livnoi v'lelamdoi. Just like we mentioned that a person has an obligation to teach his son Torah, if you cannot do it on your own, either because you don't have the knowledge, or perhaps you don't have the time, or perhaps you and your son are not the greatest chavrusas, the greatest study partners in the world. Not every father and son relationship lends itself to a Rebbe Talmud, to a teacher and a student synergy that is needed. So therefore, if you are not going to be the one that takes upon yourself the obligation to teach your son Torah, so then you are obligated to hire a Rebbe, a teacher, to teach him. However, even though that we mentioned yesterday that you have an obligation to teach your son and your grandchildren, and you have students as well, could be your friend's son, that's only if it's going to be you teaching them directly. But you're not obligated, says the Rambam over here, you're not obligated to undertake an expense to be able to teach him, which means that it should come out according to the Rambam. You don't have to hire anybody else to go and teach your friend's son Torah. And it could even be that if you're the tutor, so then there's no reason why you should not get some kind of compensation over here for that. Although keeping that in mind, we'll have to see what the Rambam holds about getting paid for teaching Torah. So let's keep that on the back burner in the meantime. Someone whose father did not teach him Torah, for whatever reason it might be. His father is ignorant, his father might not have a connection to Torah, his father might not have the ability to transmit the words of Torah in the right way. He doesn't have the money to pay for a tutor. Maybe his father's not from, he's not religious. And the guy becomes a Baal Tshuva, becomes a religious person, and his father never taught him. So Mishlo Lamdu Aviv Chayev L'Lamed Es Asma, he's Kishiyakir. He is obligated to teach himself Torah and learn on his own when he recognizes the importance of Torah. Shenemar, like it says, V'limadetem Oisam Ushmartem La'aseisam. It says you have to learn them in order Ushmartem to guard them, La'aseisam, and to do them. So you're learning in order to keep the mitzvahs, what says the Rambam from that pasuk. Everywhere we look, we find that the learning always precedes the actions of the mitzvahs. It is one's learning which brings you to Maisa, the actions of the mitzvahs themselves. But the mitzvahs will not bring you to learn more. Which means, says the Rambam, that you cannot keep a mitzvah properly unless you learn how to do the mitzvah. So the more that you learn about the mitzvahs, the more that you learn Torah, the more you'll understand what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from you, and then you'll be able to do it. But if you don't, says the Rambam, so then you will not be able to keep it. So therefore, if your father doesn't teach you, then you're obligated to teach yourself. Go hire somebody, get a tutor, go to yeshiva, whatever you need to do to be able to have Talmud, Kodim Lamaisa, the learning of the Torah, preceding the action, because learning brings you to a deeper appreciation and understanding of the mitzvahs, and in that way you'll perform them in the proper way. All the best.